Have you noticed that big changes might be coming to Australia's pension system in 2026, and most people are completely unaware of how it could affect their monthly payments, eligibility rules, and retirement planning? What if your pension amount is no longer what you expected in May 2026? What if small rule changes quietly reduce your benefits or change the age and income requirements without clear warning? Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain could directly impact your financial future in Australia, especially if you are already receiving a pension or planning to apply soon. Hello and welcome back to Aus Pension Update. In today's video, we are going to break down everything you need to know about the Australia pension changes expected in 2026, with a special focus on the May 2026 update on payments and eligibility rules. This is not just another general update. We will go deep into what may change, how it could affect both current pensioners and future applicants, and what smart steps you should consider right now to stay prepared. Make sure you watch this video until the end because the last part includes important insights that most people overlook, and it could make a real difference in how much support you receive from the government. Now let's start with the big picture. Australia's pension system, especially the age pension, is designed to support retirees who meet certain age, residency, income, and asset requirements. Over the years, the government has regularly adjusted these rules to reflect inflation, population aging, and economic pressure. In 2026, experts are expecting another wave of updates, particularly around May, when policy reviews and indexation changes often take effect. These changes are being discussed due to rising living costs, housing pressures, and the increasing number of retirees depending on government support. One of the most important areas under review is the payment structure itself. Pension payments in Australia are generally indexed twice a year, in March and September, to match inflation and wage growth. However, in 2026, there is growing expectation that the indexation formula may be adjusted in a way that could either slightly increase payments for some groups or slow down increases for others, depending on economic conditions. This means that while pensioners may still see a rise in payments, the increase might not fully match the real cost of living, especially in areas like rent, healthcare, and groceries. Another major point of discussion is eligibility rules. Currently, to qualify for the age pension, individuals must generally be at least 67 years old, meet residency requirements, and pass both the income and asset tests. However, there is ongoing policy debate about tightening or refining these rules in the future. By May 2026, there could be updates that adjust asset thresholds or income limits, meaning some people who currently qualify might find themselves closer to the cutoff line, while others who were previously ineligible might become newly eligible due to threshold adjustments. These changes are not always negative or positive universally. They often shift the balance depending on financial status. Let's talk about the income test first. The income test determines how much pension you receive based on your earnings from work, investments, or other sources. If you earn more than a certain amount, your pension reduces gradually. In 2026, there is discussion about updating these income thresholds to reflect inflation and wage changes. However, there is also a possibility that the taper rate, which is the rate at which your pension reduces as your income increases, could be adjusted. Even a small change in this rate can have a significant impact on part pension recipients, especially those who still work part-time or receive superannuation income. Now moving to the asset test. This is another crucial factor that determines eligibility. Your assets include property, excluding your main home, savings, investments, and other valuables. Over time, asset thresholds have been gradually increased, allowing more Australians to qualify for partial pensions, even if they have moderate savings. But with rising government expenditure, there is always debate about whether these thresholds should be tightened or expanded. In the May 2026 update, it is expected that asset limits may be recalibrated again. If thresholds rise, more people could qualify for support. If they are tightened, some may see reduced payments or even temporary ineligibility until they restructure their assets or financial planning. Another key factor is housing and cost of living adjustments. Australia has been facing ongoing housing affordability challenges, especially for retirees who rent. There is increasing pressure on the government to provide additional pension supplements or rental assistance increases. In the 2026 update, there is a strong possibility of enhanced rental support for pensioners, especially in high-cost urban areas. This is because rent has been rising faster than standard pension indexation, creating financial stress for many older Australians. Healthcare support is also part of the discussion. Pensioners in Australia often rely heavily on Medicare benefits and concession cards. Any changes to pension eligibility automatically affect access to these benefits. In 2026, there may be additional adjustments to concession thresholds, meaning that more people could gain access to discounted healthcare, transport, and utility bills. However, it is also possible that stricter verification processes could be introduced to ensure only eligible individuals receive these benefits. Now let's talk about something very important that many people ignore: superannuation interaction with the pension. As more Australians retire with superannuation savings, the government is continuously reviewing how super affects pension eligibility. In 2026, there may be updates to how superannuation income streams are assessed under the income test. This could either benefit retirees with structured withdrawals or create tighter calculations for those with large super balances. Understanding this interaction is critical because it directly affects how much pension you actually receive. Another expected area of change is digital reporting and compliance. The government is increasingly moving toward automated systems to track income, assets, and eligibility in real time. By May 2026, pensioners may experience more frequent data matching between banks, tax records, and government agencies. This means less manual reporting but also stricter monitoring. While this can reduce errors and fraud, it also means that any discrepancies in your financial records could quickly impact your payments. Now, what does all of this mean for you personally? If you are already receiving a pension, the most important thing is to stay updated and ensure your financial information is accurate and up to date. Even small changes in your income or assets should be reported correctly to avoid overpayments or penalties. If you are planning to apply for the pension in 2026, then you need to be especially careful about timing, as even a few months' difference in application could change your eligibility outcome depending on new rules. There is also a broader economic factor to consider. Australia's aging population is putting long-term pressure on the pension system. More retirees mean more government spending, which naturally leads to periodic policy adjustments. These adjustments are not necessarily cuts, but rather recalibrations to keep the system sustainable. That is why updates like the May 2026 changes are so important. They ensure the system continues functioning, but they also require pensioners to adapt. Financial experts are advising retirees to not rely solely on the government pension. Diversifying income sources, such as superannuation planning, saving strategies, and part-time work where possible, is becoming increasingly important. This is not because the pension is disappearing, but because its purchasing power may not always keep up with inflation in the long run. As we approach May 2026, the key message is preparation. Whether changes are positive or slightly restrictive, being informed gives you the advantage. Many people only find out about pension changes after they take effect, and by then it can be difficult to adjust financial plans quickly. Staying ahead of updates allows you to make smarter decisions about retirement, spending, and savings. Before we close, let's quickly summarize the key expectations for the Australia Pension Changes 2026. There may be adjustments in payment indexation, possible updates to income and asset thresholds, potential improvements in rental assistance, tighter digital compliance systems, and continued review of superannuation interactions. Each of these areas can directly affect how much pension you receive and how easily you qualify. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to stay connected with us because Aus Pension Update will continue bringing you the latest updates, breakdowns, and explanations in simple language, so you never miss an important change that could affect your retirement income. Thank you for watching, and remember, staying informed is the first step toward securing your financial future. We'll see you in the next update soon.